Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world, my name is Brandon. I'm with the Rags Riches community. In fact, I am the COO, the CFO, the CEO, and the Supreme Ayatollah. Let's check out chat. Who is here this evening? Who's here ready for me to waste their God-given time? Terrafin, you're redeeming yourself first. Well done, Terrafin. Everybody give Terrafin a big round of applause. Thank you, Terrafin. Who we got next? Godfather. What's up, Godfather? Hex Down Under says, damn, Terrafin, do you sleep? Morning, Mr. Rags. Buffo on the beat. Bro, liquidity providing is like showering with clothes on. Okay. I like that. What's good, JR? Sammy G. CJ Dez, Marcus 99, MJ Money in the house. We already have 44 folks in here. Don't know why. Elliot, what's up? What's up? Ty Bull. Come get me, aliens. Que te pasa, digital fam? Jen Hex, Craig Wadding. It was this or Knight Rider reruns. So here I am. At least you're not watching Highlander. +1 if you know what Highlander is. A lot of you don't. Erwin, what up, fam? All right. Monica, MoFit Meals with the big biceps in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty interesting today, right? We're having a good time here. Everything's good. We're going to check some stuff out here. Look at that. Look at that. In a sea of red, we've got the shining beacon. Get out of the way. Hex is here to stay. Move. I like this. I like popping this up. I like seeing this, right, folks? Feels good. Hex up 38.5%. Market cap, the disputed market cap is 30.5 billion. 24-hour volume. Now let's see in terms of market cap plus the week. Let's check it out. Well, obviously we have Ethereum and BTC, but look at this. Hex showing up on the big charts. Folks. And we are up and away. Feels good, ladies and gentlemen. Now, BUSD, it's a close second. It's up 0.1%. Well done, BUSD. You just have a little bit to go before you hit Hex, right? Just a little bit. What is that calculation? We've got, 38.5? We're going to divide it by 0.1. Yeah, just a 385x, and you'll be here right with us. Ladies and gentlemen, feels good. Chat, if you're liking this, if you're liking what's going on right now with Hex, let me know. Let's take a look at the actual chart. And we are going to, can you guys see that? No, you guys cannot see that. We'll stop sharing this. Yeah, we'll go here. So the thing that I like about this is we are doing this run up in a very healthy manner, in my opinion. All right. Now, of course, everybody would like to go up and the right forever. But does it really happen like that? It doesn't really always happen like that, right? So what we need to take a look at here is our handy dandy chart. Now, we said last week when we drew this little green box, now here we go. It's busy again. Let's make this a little bit less busy. We said that we would have some type of resistance here at the 19-cent level. And we said this right around 13, 14 cents. So we popped all the way up and we hit the bottom of that right on target. And we corrected back down. What we said, what we would like to see is to pop up above this and we could go all the way back down to 13 or 14 cents and then take off again. So as it stands right now, all is well. Everything is going as planned. We have 1 hour and 32 minutes until the new daily candle forms. So this is exciting, folks. Let's see what everybody has to say here in chat. Probably the same old stuff. Nothing new. You guys never bring anything fun to the table. Whatever. Yo. Look at that. Hex Panda says, yo. Heinz Crypto says, what's up, Hexicans? Stormy, ahoy. Ahoy, mate. Then there's Terrafin. Brigham, he doesn't communicate in letters. He communicates in symbols. MJ Money. Kit is BA. Absolutely. Crypto Gains Club 369. We got Dove Griffin in the house 369. Here we are. What's up, boys? Pulse Former DCR. I'm drinking a SoCo with Coke. What are you guys drinking? Ooh, SoCo with Coke. I like SoCo limes. Like that's my shooter of choice if I go out. My friends think I'm crazy. It's like insta vomit for them. For some reason, I like it. Heil Height. Okay. What's up? Crypto Ike, Tracy G, Malcolm Hex. Folks, what is next? What do we have going on in the world? We got some weird stuff going on in the world, guys. We're going to talk about United States economy here because, as we all know, if the United States catches a cold, the rest of the world catches a flu economically. 2022 recession. Here we are. We're in the midst of it. GDP shrunk by 1.4% in Q1. The Fed now has to rug the United States economy. Okay, it's growing too fast, too much inflation. So they have to slow inflation, and they have to rug our economy. They have to raise interest rates. They have to do economic policies that screw us over because we have a discretionary spending policy, economic policy, and it's horrible. Biden blamed slowing economy on COVID. Biden blamed slowing economy on inflation and the war in Ukraine. Blamed economic problems on Republicans. And he said that the Republicans should help the Democrats shrink the deficit. What does that even mean, guys? What does this really mean? Why is the economy really, really jacked up right now? Well, here's why. To put it in perspective, in Q4, the economy rose by 6.4%. Why did the economy raise by 6.4%? We had massive amounts of stimulus. That, as we've talked about many, many times, the United States likes to print money as a proxy to go to companies, and then they hoard that money, and then the middle class and the working people are left screwed and holding the tab, right? So essentially, we've got stimulus money right now that's wearing off. That's why we saw such a sharp decrease, 1.4%. A lot of folks are claiming their stimulus money on their tax returns right now, too. So right now, we're running out of stimulus. We are correcting back down to whatever real is. For whatever growth we had last year that was mostly fake, just due to stimulus, printing money. So I would expect over the next, maybe 12 months, maybe 18 months or more, I think the Fed is going to have to do some serious rate hikes to slow things down because of how much money they printed. And you'll never hear that on media because they're in bed with whoever's, well, actually not even whoever's in politics or in office, but certainly the Democrats have a foothold on the media at large. So very interesting here that I think that we're going to be going into a deeper recession than anybody kind of realizes. And this is kind of like a slow burn over time, right? It's a slow downward trend. And it's not too fast, but I think it will increase it in its speed and intensity, especially come at the end of this year when all the food distributors, food manufacturers, etc., have to renegotiate a lot of their contracts. Right now, these folks are losing money due to inflation, and they're not going to be losing money anymore at the end of this year when they renegotiate these contracts. That means the price of food is going to go up as well. So now here's another little thing that we need to think about. We're kind of moving forward on this student loan type stuff being erased off the books completely. So what Democrats are proposing right now, and we've reported on this last week, is that they are willing to wipe out about $10,000 per person of student debt. Now, why are they doing that? And the second question is, if they can't get it done in the House and Senate, because Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat, he's saying this is crazy. We can't print any more money. We can't buy up any more debt. This is just pretty stupid. The reason that we're doing this is because the midterm elections are coming up, folks. And they have to be able to say, hey, listen, look what we did. We wiped out $10,000 per person in student debt. Now, let me ask you folks who paid your student debt or have been paying your student debt for a long, long, long time. Do you think that's fair? Are you going to get any money? You going to get a reimbursement? No. This is all for show. This is all to try to retain power and not get completely wiped out in the midterm elections. Again, this is American politics, and this is just politics in general. We've got to sacrifice the long term for the short term just so they can keep power. It's kind of a screwed up way to do business, in my opinion. So on top of that, you have America giving billions more to Ukraine. Nancy Pelosi, she went out to Ukraine and met with the President Zelensky out there to figure out how they could further help Ukraine. It's just, one of the funny points that I made. You see a lot of folks that are pissed off at Elon because he spent $45 billion to buy Twitter. And they said, you could have taken that $45 billion and you could have ended world hunger. Folks, you know how much money that we've sent to Ukraine in the past 3 to 4 months? This is just a small amount of the total world GDP. $45 billion is nothing. You can't solve world hunger with $45 billion. And if you think you can, you're a freaking idiot. And I just find it funny that they don't point the fingers at the people that are actually representing the people that are supposed to be taking care of their populace, but they pointed at Elon. Very, very interesting, in fact. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a very, very special guest here. And actually, let me make sure this person is good to go. You good to go? We have a special segment coming up next. All right, cool. Let me check chat here, and then we're going to bring in our guest. I'm very excited to bring in this guest. We actually have a couple guests. We're going to be talking about Pulse Doge here in just a minute. We're going to bring in a guest first. +1 in chat. Yep. Everybody knows what that is. There could be only one, Chad says. Dougie, big bad heck staying green like the Hulk. We're looking strong. Ladies and gentlemen. Feeling good about this. The gang's all here. Pretty bubbles in the air. Why are crypto bubbles so fun to play with? Well, I think they did that on purpose. Ted Walker, completely inappropriate, and I love it. All right. J-Bond PLSX, take us to the moon, Rags. Let me tell you this, folks. The only people that can take us to the moon are you. Once you understand that, you understand everything. Droning on again and again. We're coming in. Okay, cool. Heximus. Cool. Alan Fizz in the house. Ted Walker, outlier. Yo, True HexCon for every year. Can I get my first high or something? Shoot. Chat, I think you need to destroy old Hexacon. Let's just destroy him real quick. Okay. All right, let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring in a special guest here. And in fact, I'm going to bring in two special guests at the same time. One will have the floor. Guys, you know what time it is. Let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got Briz.
Howdy, everybody.
Dude, man, it's been so long since you've been here, man. You better just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Me or yeah?
We'll just do both of you. Who are you? Who are you guys anyway?
I'm Brizology. Here I am. Just here to do. Brandon asked me to come on and maybe tell you guys a couple things about liquidity providing and see if it's right for you or not. All right.
I love it. And we've got the futures cheap now, bro. It's been a long time since we chatted, hadn't it?
It has been, buddy. You hear me all right, man?
I hear you just fine, man.
Your production, everything you're doing is just amazing. I was sitting there just watching it going, incredible, man. I love watching you guys. And we're going to spit some serious alpha here. I'm glad to hear that you got a liquidity provider. I do a lot of liquidity providing myself. So it'll be interesting to hear his take. But of course, I want to talk on Pulse Dogecoin, which is, I don't know if is it Briss? I don't know if you're aware of the Pulse Dogecoin at all.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it.
Because I think it's important, because I think we can agree we're all Hexkins on this channel, right, Brandon?
Yeah, mostly Hexkins, I would say. Yep.
And I don't know what you've already told your people. I mean, there was a great interview with the founder, with Matty Allen, and with David Federer. And, David looked at the code. We've had a couple devs look at the code, and it's safe to claim. So if you have stakes with Hex, if you want a bunch of free money, I mean, right now, if you were showing the bubbles earlier, pull up the bubble for Pulse Dogecoin. It was up, I think, 70% today.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up so we can take a look. Very
Yeah,
interesting here.
I
Pulse
know
Doge.
a lot of friends who've gotten a lot of free money from this Pulse Dogecoin today.
And that's the
Yeah, and
thing.
I
I
think
mean, there's been some FUD in the community, and it's like, hey guys, this project, it's an airdrop for Hexagon stakers. It's fair to everyone. And ultimately, what we want to do with this project, everyone that's behind this project is a Hexagon. This is something we're trying to tap into the millions of people that are in Shiba Inu and that are in Doge and all this crap. We want to bring them into Hex as the ultimate goal. So if you're a Hexagon, let's take your free claim and let's go forward with this. We don't want to take from Hex. We want to contribute to Hex. What do we got, Brandon?
Yeah, that's just kind of what we're looking at here. On the day, it's up about 153%, I believe. So I found that very interesting. You'd reached out to me earlier in the day, and we were kind of talking about it too. So what is this all about? Like, who's involved? Who's the founder? Like, what do we know about this?
The founder is a Hexagon. He's anonymous. He's a brilliant dev. He made this project. I mean, he basically just gave away a whole bunch of money to the Hex community. It launched at $1, and he just matched it up with his own money, and he airdropped it to everybody that has a stake with Hex, and it's a fair launch. So the whales get a smaller amount of it, and then you have the dolphins or the sharks and the dolphins. So the majority actually goes to like the squids and the turtles and the people that are smaller in Hex. It's a fair launch. Go to pulsedoge.com or pulsedogecoin.com. Pulsedoge.com reroutes to pulsedogecoin.com, and you'll see all the breakdown of it. It's a fair launch. You can become a whale right now. It's not like these other projects where you're going to have trillions and trillions and trillions of supply or quadrillions. There's probably going to be a final supply. It's set, if everybody claims, it's going to be around 12 million if everybody claims. But look at Hedron. You only had about 20% of people claim. So it's anticipated the final supply is probably going to be around 4 or 5 million. It's just over 3 million right now. And I don't know how many people have claimed, but people that have claimed and actually held it is just under 9,000 right now. 9,000 people. It's growing tremendously. We got listed on CoinGecko. We're on Uniswap. We're getting price data on MetaMask. It's going after these meme markets, and then ultimately you get it now. You're getting in before Pulse Chain. When the Pulse Chain forks happen, of course, it's an ERC20, so you're going to have it on the Ethereum side. You're going to have it on the Pulse side. As Richard Hart has said, the best thing you can possibly do is you can pair the LP, which he's going to tell you all about liquidity providing, pair the Ethereum side with the Pulse side. There's very little impermanent loss to worry about if you take the two sides, especially the free money from the one side. And like Brandon said, it's what are we at right now? 350, 360, somewhere in there.
357, yeah.
Look on chain. The people involved with this project, if anything, take your free money and just hang on to it, because we're looking to go to 69,420. That's the number we're looking at with the scarcity factor. That's going to happen. If you look at the wallets that are involved right now, these are major, brilliant hexagons, huge wallets. These people have tens of thousands of T-shares. They're very committed to this project. You can see it on chain today. You had the whales take over. And then after they pumped this price like crazy to buy up from all the paper lettuce hand plebs, they sat there and slammed down a couple $100,000 in liquidity, a band right on the freaking Uniswap. These guys know what they're doing, and they want all of the PLSD. They want all of it because they know where it's going. These people have a plan. I mean, pull up some of the stake for some of the wallets that are involved. These guys are sharp. There are some very sharp people involved with this project.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you talking about that. Now you're using the term we. Are you involved in the project as well? Are you an admin, or what's your role?
I'm an admin there's a Telegram chat I am, of course, I think it's a great project. I think it's great. I'm a huge Hexkin, as you know, Rags. I love the Hex community. It's amazing. I think this is great to tap into the meme markets. I'm very active on Twitter at Steven Brocker. You can see all the stuff I've been posting on Twitter. If you go to the website, pulsedoge.com, you'll see he has a Telegram link in there. I am one of the admins for the Telegram link. I think we're getting up close to almost 500 members now. Remember, we just launched 2 weeks ago. So this thing is really catching steam fast. I think we were the most active, the number one on the one of the dev tools sites. I mean, it's gaining steam fast. People are starting to ask questions, and of course, nothing does it like price action. We know this with Hex. I mean, it's very simple. You look at the chart. This thing is going to just keep going higher, and you got to just hang on to it, ladies and gentlemen. And he's going to talk about the liquidity providing opportunities where you can match your free copy. This is the time. And even a lot of people, if you sold, it's all right. I've seen people on chain that sold and they're buying back later. It's fine. You're still so early. You have a free gift. There's thousands. There's so much money right now. I mean, just take advantage of it. I see some people on Twitter, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like it's a scam. It's like nobody's asking you for a sacrifice. It's like, hey, here's free. Here's thousands of dollars. There it'll be tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars down the road. Take your free gift and just don't do anything with it. Just be happy with it, because there is no other project in crypto. I don't care if it's liquid loans. I don't care if any of these projects, they're not giving you free money. If you can name another one, go ahead and name it for me, because which one?
Hedron
did, and that's the thing. And they're going to continue to give you free money. So if you get billions of it every month, like I do, billions of it, I just get billions. So what do you do when you get billions of something for free?
The problem is that the Hedron doesn't ever stop coming. Therefore,
you're going to have, what's the ultimate supply? 100 trillion. And I mean, it's a great project. Don't get me wrong. I got a lot of HSI stakes, but I'm locked in at a 10x bonus, 1,000 Hedron a day per T share. I honestly, guys, I get billions every month. What do you think I can do with those? Billions. And there's guys, there's sharks, they get a lot more. There's whales. We saw Richard Hart himself dump it with the OA. And then he's like, oh yeah, and then he paired it. I mean, you can see it on chain. And don't get me wrong, I love Hedron. I think it's an amazing project. We've seen some of those HSI stakes sell on OpenSea. I think we just saw one sell for a couple $100,000. I think it was a record. You have to correct me. I think it just happened past couple days. So there is value. And I mean, I think the Hedron, maybe 5 years or 10 years, as the T shares get more scarce and those bonuses run out and whatnot. But gosh, there's so much. It's like made to sell.
So what do you think is going to happen after the fork with PLSD? What are you guys thinking about that?
I don't know. You can pair, like I said, you can pair the LP. I think probably, I mean, the Pulse sides, it's a total unknown, but I mean, without the transaction fees, it could go absolutely nuts. I really think the play is to get it now, and then when the fork happens, to bring it in and pair the LP and then get that incentive token. I mean, everybody's been using the test net. I don't know if the incentive token is going to be like it was on the test net, but gosh darn, I hope it's a 1/10 of that price or 100th of that price.
So yeah, so that's very, so 69,420 is what you said. Now, is that just some number you grabbed out of the air, or is that due to a calculation, or what are you thinking about that?
With Elon Musk. I mean, let's just back up and realize that the Doge King is now the CEO of Twitter, a social media thing, and that's why you're seeing Doge pop, the actual Dogecoin. And so this is something to tap into that. Dogecoin, I did a video on it on my channel. Every single minute for the rest of time, because that's a fork of Litecoin, which is a fork of Bitcoin. Every minute for the rest of time, you print 10,000 more Dogecoins every minute. The supply is just going like this. I mean, it's stupid. It's a meme coin. It's a joke. But but if you look at their Twitter, they've got millions of people in the Dogecoin Twitter, and the Shiba Inu, same thing. because people have no concept. You have a truly scarce, one of a kind, actual scarce meme here, and it's an introduction to Pulse, to Hex, and the community is growing because people like these things. I mean,
and it's probably going to be about 10 times more scarce than Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is already very, very scarce.
Yes. Yeah.
If here's what I talked this morning on stream. I do a live in the mornings, and I said, listen, you have to communicate with people how they want to be communicated with. And a lot of crypto at large, that's how they want to be. They enjoy this type of thing. They enjoy the meme coins. They enjoy the community coins, etc. I have no problem with that. Now, I will say this. In the beginning, when Pulse Doge was coming out here, it wasn't about me not wanting to back it. It was that I didn't have enough information to risk, right? So the only thing that kind of frustrates me about Pulse Doge and some of the Twitter stuff that's coming out, it's like, the developer, the owner, the founder is getting upset with some people for doubting it. But I didn't have enough money or enough knowledge to make a good decision about it. Now, it happened after about 2 or 3 days. Aside from all of that, I completely love the project, and I completely 1,000,000% agree with that. This is going to be a really good opportunity to onboard people who want to be a part of that type of thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and you're right that there was an unknown. It came out of nowhere for me too. It almost was like, something to announce on 420, and I was like, what is this? And you start looking into it. I mean, I have a lot of different accounts. I had like several thousand of these things to claim. And then I was like, oh, like, okay, like, but I'm looking at the dollar and I'm going, what in the heck's going on? Then I started looking at the project and realizing the fair distribution of it. Like I said, pulsedoge.com, you can see it's really brilliant. He's taken like the hedron where you have these sharks and whales that can dump trillions. And he said, no, we're not going to do that. And he's distributed it fairly to everyone. If you want to be a whale on this project, you need to invest. And right now you can still become a whale for a small amount of money. And you're seeing the people that want to become a whale, they're putting their money where their mouth is, and they're committed to it. They're not just getting something for free that they can just dump. But you're right, Brandon. I mean, there was no real audit, and I'll tell you. But since then, devs have looked at it, and I've had many tell me they're very, very
absolutely. At this point, it's checked. It's good to go at this point.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love the idea. We have to appeal to a lot of different types of people out there to ultimately get them into what we have going on, to be able to teach them and re-educate them about crypto.
It's a different angle. It's a different angle. And that's the thing. It's something for the Hex, Richard Hart ecosystems, for Pulse. And it's just to tap into these millions of people. That's really the key. I mean, and the people that are involved, if you look at some of the wallets that are involved, these people have stakes in planning, looking out a decades. That's how these people think. They're thinking about their own interest in Hex and in Richard Hart ecosystems, and they're thinking about bringing in more and more and more a decade from now. And that's where they're at with this. It's going, wait a second. All these people, these millions and millions of people, like, this is a way to get to them. And it's brilliant. When you look into it, it's brilliant. The founder is very, very brilliant. And
I feel like this coin, it appeals to the new investor who wants to invest but doesn't want to be taken seriously.
Well, you go down the street, and you say, hey,
I want to make money, but I don't want to be taken too seriously. You got anything like that?
If you go down the street, how many times have you been to the grocery store or something? Crypto's popping, and it's like, oh yeah, hey, they've heard Bitcoin before. Most people heard Bitcoin. Everybody's heard Dogecoin. Everybody's buying Dogecoin. I got, a few thousand subscribers. Everybody and their mom reaches out and asks me about Dogecoin, on and on and on. It's like, that's the big draw. Maybe a few of them have heard of Ethereum, but then after that, it's kind of nothing. I mean, we're so early in all this stuff. I mean, we're like light years ahead. And, but Doge, it's that they go Dogecoin, and then they see a Pulse Doge, and we're just in the community. We're starting kind of the Staker League, and we're starting to work on. There's some socks. You have to join the Telegram, guys and gals. If you're watching the stream, pulsedoge.com, bottom of the page, you'll see the link for the Telegram. Get in the Telegram. There's a thing. There's some like socks that they're going to sell on. They're going to make like NFTs from it. And right now they're advertising it as one sock per one T-shirt. It's anything to spread the virality of it. Same thing we're doing with Hex. But you start going down the rabbit hole, like Richard Hart says. Look at the certificate of deposit and with Hex on the blockchain, making that argument, and then look how much bigger the Pulse chats are now. It's huge. It's blowing up because everybody knows Ethereum, but this is just in blockchain. We're going after now the normal person. So we need to go out to these mean people that, oh, Dogecoin, yeah, the fun, we know about that. Elon Musk, he talks about it. It's got 100 million followers. Oh, yeah, the Doge. Oh, wait, Pulse Doge. What is this? This is new. And it's got a cute, cuddly little dog with it. And it's, wow, why is it worth so much money? You try to get one, you're going to 69,420, because that's what the joke was from Elon Musk, I guess, it was going to go to 69,420 because for whatever.
Yeah, a lot of these people don't realize, like when you do the research on Dogecoin, it was literally, I think it was actually a fork of Lucky Coin, then Litecoin, then Bitcoin. And it was literally created to not have massive amounts of price appreciation. It was actually created to be a currency, to be a means of exchange. So, and like you said, there's a lot of people that are in that coin that have no idea that was actually why it was created.
I feel like when he was programming it, he said,
yeah.
"Lol, enter."
No, like quite literally, that's what he says. That's what they said. We don't want this to be a store of value. We want to be this as an medium of exchange.
What's funny is what you were saying earlier about the economics and they've printed so much money in the Fed. Dogecoin, even though they're printing 10,000 every minute for infinity, that's still 1,000 times less than the central banks around the world are printing. Which is
I know. That's the sad part.
It's
right?
it's ridiculous. What's the biggest shit coin out there? U.S. dollar, the fiat currencies. Well,
and I just wanted to highlight this comment because it's very special to me. Thank you. Arrived at work. Thanks, Rags, for wasting 45 minutes of my life. All this chat about Doge. I'm going to go swap Hex for Doge. That's exactly what we wanted you to do, right, guys?
Doge, man. PulseDoge.com. You won't be sorry. And the thing is, I don't want to encourage a lot of people, Hex to Doge, but if you take 0.0001% of Hex and you put it in Doge, Pulse Doge, we're looking at it like a $6 million, $9 million market cap. I mean, it's so small, and the price you accelerate. You don't even have to put anything in it. But you can get it for free. But that little tiny bit will get 1,000-time return, and then ultimately it'll come back and lead to 100x back into Hex down the road. That's how you look at it. Right now, you put the guys that you're seeing, the whales. These guys are sharks, man. These guys are huge. They have tens of thousands of T-shares. They're taking, it may seem like a lot of money to us peons. They throw around $250,000, $1 million like it's nothing. These guys are taking that little tiny portion and they're putting it in, and they're dominating. They're absolutely dominating. I mean, the number one wallet has almost 200,000 PLSD. The number two wallet also getting close to 200,000 of a supply of maybe 4 million, 5 million. These guys are setting the monetary policy forever, and they want to see that 69,420 become reality. And then later on, you're going to see it come back around, back into Hex. That's what we want.
Well, I am a huge proponent of people that put their money where their mouth is and build projects that are going to be used on Pulse Chain to liven and color the ecosystem. So I do appreciate that. Regardless of what happened in the beginning, we've moved past that. We've verified that, it's a solid project, and it's also a tool that can onboard people who are used to this type of thing. And then once they get in here, we get a hold of them. Hopefully we can educate them more and get them more fired up about crypto.
And on top of all that, it's free.
Yeah.
It's free.
Free. Easy
I
day.
see these guys claim, and they sit there and complain. It's like, dude, how do you complain? Is free the worst 4-letter word now? We're complaining about free? It's like, what did it ever do to you? They gave you go claim, you get a couple hundred of these things. I mean, you get a couple hundred, even if you get 25 at $3, that's $100. You do it when the ETH fees are low. It might cost you $10 to claim. I mean, It's free.
At this point, there's no excuse not to do it unless you're just diametrically ethically opposed to it. But
yeah, I mean, hey, if you don't want money, you can reach out to me. You can send me yours if you want. I'll take it off your hand. It's fine. I have diamond hands, guys. Look at my my Twitter profile picture. I got massive diamond hands. I can take care of it for you.
Yep. Well, listen, man, I really, really appreciate you coming on, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I hope, remember, pulsedoge.com. I'm going to listen outside here. I'll hear you guys on liquidity providing. Should be good stuff.
Yeah. Just put it in the chat there too, if you'd like, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much, brother, and we'll chat soon, buddy.
All right, guys, take it easy.
All right, thanks. Briz.
Brandon.
Dude, how you doing, man? You good, man?
I'm doing
Life
fantastic.
Good? Dude, I think you made your bed. That made me so happy when I saw that.
Look at it. I made it. Had to kick the cat off.
I was surprised, dude. Well, good for you, man. You make your bed every day, bro.
I do, actually.
I think you just woke up from a nap.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, okay. I knew it. I'm feeling good about my guesses today. Well, dude, here we are, man. Briz, you're the man to teach everybody about some things, and we've got a lot of questions. It's about liquidity providing. So
we're all doomed. If I'm the man, we're all doomed.
Well, here's the neat thing. I find it very interesting that when you task somebody with something that they don't know about, miraculously, in just a short amount of time, they start knowing about it. Isn't that interesting how that works?
You know, you asked me to talk about liquidity, and I really didn't know that much about it. But I'm not going to let my ignorance going to stop me from talking about stuff I don't know about. All right?
You should.
I talk very confidently about almost everything I don't know about.
So, Briz for president. That's what I'm talking about. All right. What do we got here, man? 3 things to know about liquidity providing. Guys, this is the Biz with the Briz segment. Biz with Briz. What do we got here, man?
So this is going to be just a very general, like 10,000 foot overview. It's not going to be very in depth. This is just like for the layman, because that's what I am. I'm the layman. And, it's just a few things to look into to see if this is good for you or not. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It looks like some people have success with it, other people not so much. All right. So here we go. We got 3 things to know about liquidity providing. And if you notice, I took the background and I made it on the background. Whoops. Here we go. All right. So the first thing about liquidity providing that you should know about is basically when you supply 2 coins to a market and the market buys 1 coin over the other, the ratios change and you could be left with more of the less valuable coin and you'll have less of the more valuable coin. This is impermanent loss. All right. And the whole idea is that if you provide liquidity with a pair that's highly volatile, you could come out at a loss, more or less. And you know what? We're not here to make losses. We're here to make gains. Bad pairs are basically when one coin might outperform the other. And I consider maybe a bad pair could possibly be something like Pulse, Dogecoin, and Hex, because these are highly volatile cryptocurrencies, and basically, I would say a good pair are coins that have similar price structures, kind of like USDC versus USDT, because you're not expecting one to run off without the other, and therefore they're both going to be worth $1. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, and this is the thing for the chat too. One of the biggest questions that I get is impermanent loss, and I did a whole video on impermanent loss because admittedly, I didn't really understand it. I said I did on multiple occasions, but I was talking out my butt. So I decided to make a video on it to learn about it and teach, right? So impermanent loss is basically the difference between you taking your capital and providing liquidity and you just sitting that capital in your wallet and allowing it to appreciate naturally. Now, if the market runs up and you've made more money just holding and not liquidity providing, that difference is actually what's called impermanent loss. Would you have made more money just holding, or would you have made more money providing liquidity? And that's pretty much what it boils down to.
And
Now,
earning trading fees, right?
right. Now, when you put two pairs in a pool and one shoots to the moon and one might actually depreciate, you run the risk of losing your money. But I will say this, you don't ever lose your money until you actually sell. That's very important. A lot of people freak out and they'll sell their stuff and they don't really understand how to look at charts and understand that these are just natural movements of the market. Now, another thing to offset that potential impermanent loss, and I want to make sure, I'm going to look down here and see if you have it. Yeah, you're going to talk about that in a second. So I'll touch on that after you talk about it here. But go ahead.
All right. And then I just wanted to kind of point out that maybe one possible trading pair that could be kind of okay with each other is the maxi and hex pair. If
Okay.
you were to provide liquidity. Now, this is a little above my pay grade, but there's just like this it's kind of like the USDC and USDT where they're going to be kind of in sync. They might have ups and downs, but the maxi and the hex pair, it should relatively track with each other.
Yeah, and so explain to the crowd again. You've got USDC, USDL, USDT, and these are kind of like lower risk. Why is it lower risk? Why are you saying that those are lower risk?
Just because the volatility is, very, very low. They're all pegged to the dollar. Therefore, from my understanding and research, that mostly anytime there's any difference in the coin, if one coin goes up, the other coin goes down, you're gonna lose money. If both coins kind of go down, you lose money. You have impermanent loss. The only time it only really makes sense is that when both coins kind of rise together, is when, because you need them to stay with each other in order to make those trading fees and then not lose on a square function on the curve.
Outstanding. So next up, you mentioned providing liquidity gives you an LP coin, and you can stake your LP coins and earn incentive tokens. So how do we offset impermanent loss? What's another way?
So right now you're asking yourself, then why the heck, if if there's all these dangers with liquidity providing, why are we doing it at all? And basically, some pretty genius people have come up with an idea to incentivize people to liquidity provide. And basically, when you provide liquidity, you provide a pair, for example, USDC and Pulse, and you'll be given a separate LP token. And then that token represents your total amount of liquidity in the pool. So if you provided 1% of the pool, you will be given 1% or enough tokens that represent 1% of the pool. So whenever you want to cash out and get your money back, it's almost like Maxi, where they're giving you a redemption token. And when you come back, if the ratios have changed, it's like you get 1% of those changed ratios. But you can take that LP token and actually farm it for incentive token. And that I think is going to be, the truth is, I'm just not 100% sure on what the incentive token is. Is that like the exchange token, or if that's like a third party token?
Yeah. So the incentive token is basically incentivizing people to provide liquidity, and that's PulseX. Okay.
Okay.
And then there's something called single-sided liquidity. And I don't know if do you have that in your slide at any point?
I do.
Okay, so we'll talk about that and we'll go from there. And after this, Briz, I have a portion of my video that I put some graphics and stuff, and we'll play that for the crowd to help them understand even more.
All right, perfect. Well, since you're talking about single-sided staking, let's go there next, because so this is liquidity providing. You can make a little bit of money with trading fees by providing liquidity, but there's dangers. But then they also give you ways to incentivize you with yield farming and high APRs. But is there an alternative to this? And there is, and it's called single-sided staking. And basically, projects donate coins to the PulseX exchange, staking liquidity pool, and then we will have a DAO. You see the voting mechanism, and the DAO can vote on which third-party coin gets distributed to the PulseX single-sided stakers. All right. And basically all you do is take your PulseX and you just you stick it right in here. You click stake, you click how much you want to actually stake, and then you just start earning. It's
Cool.
really seems safe, seems like a no-brainer, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, and the advantage to this, folks, you've got two ways to make money on PulseX. One of the ways is you can have two sides of a pair. So let's say it's USDC and let's say it's Hex. You can put them in a liquidity pool, and depending on how much of the liquidity pool that you represent, you'll get a portion of the fees. You'll get tokens for that. Okay. And then the second part is, if you don't want to risk any type of impermanent loss or anything, what PulseX does, it gives the ability for new projects that come into the ecosystem to provide coins to PulseX, and then you can actually stake your PulseX, and then you can earn some of those rewards that new projects are giving out. And what they're trying to get people interested in their projects by giving, again, free coins, grocery coupons. That's what we do here. We give out free money, we bring people back.
Free internet coupons.
Absolutely. Cool.
And the cool thing about the single-sided staking is that it basically, by staking your coins on PulseX, this turns PulseX into a supply sink, where a lot of the PulseX will just sit and stay off the market because it's earning yield. Why would you sell something that's making you money? It basically acts like a savings account. And it's pretty brilliant, to tell you the truth. I really like it.
Yeah, I love every time we zoom out and think about all these functions. Ultimately, we just see that just about everything is it's based on
it's a pumpamental
price performative, right? That's all it is. That's what we're thinking about here.
Price performative, and that's what matters. Like that's how you get the new people to say, hey, why do I want to come in? And you just show them, hey, this is a place where you can make money, and this is the new decentralized finance. And like you had mentioned, you might get new coins you had never heard of or desired to mine, and they might be a gem. Like everyone, when they first heard of Pulse Dogecoin, had a real bad taste in their mouth. And now, after a couple weeks, it's like, you know what, hey, people are warming up to it. And so by doing the single-sided staking, you might get a coin that you would have never looked at twice, but who knows? Some of these coins really explode.
Absolutely. You're right about that. So now, is that the conclusion of your
I got
presentation?
one more slide, which is a
Perfect.
summary.
Yeah, awesome.
And so, in summary, it just seems to me like the single-sided staking seems to be the safest way to earn yield with no impermanent loss. You want to know that providing liquidity with two volatile coins is for advanced users who have lots of risk tolerance. It's not for the newbies. And I know you see that 600% APR, APY. Just be careful and not to be lured in and to throw your money at stuff without considering the impermanent loss or really understanding how it works, because you can lose your coins. You will lose your coins. If you really want to provide liquidity, maybe try limit orders on matcha.xyz. Now, I know it's not real liquidity. You're just kind of letting people buy into a buy wall. But at least at this point, you know that you're actually selling your coins and you are the one setting the sell price, because you don't have to, like, you're the one setting the price.
Absolutely.
And then just lastly, with the pulse chain, there's going to be many ways to earn passive income, but be careful with how you deploy your money. It's a coin eat coin world out there, and whales are lurking. So
They are. It's always best in these situations knowing that Pulse Chain and Pulse X and all these projects, they're going to take off. All you have to do is just stay safe. Don't get greedy. Don't nuke your account. Just keep accumulating and you can win in a big way. Now, Briz, what I'm going to do here, this is the first time I've tried this. I'm kind of interested to see if it works.
all
We're going
right.
to add this to the stream, and I'm going to mute so I make sure there's no echo. But we'll kind of go over pretty much what you talked about, just in a little bit greater detail, to maybe plug in some information gaps for some of the people here. And this could take probably about 10 or 15 minutes. If you guys need to be somewhere, go ahead and bounce out. But I think it's good information, at least for playbacks for some people. Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's mute me and then. Okay. We talked about liquidity providers, which we have here. Little Johnny on the screen here. Liquidity. We've got our trading pair. Our trading pair is USDC and HEX. So he takes his USDC and he takes an equal value of HEX. Both of these are equal value. All right. He takes them and he goes to a decentralized exchange and he says, you know what? I want to get rich. Let me put this into a liquidity pool. Liquidity pool has to be equal value. We've talked about the constant and all that. We're going to go over everything here. All right. So impermanent loss explained. Here we go. The first thing that I want to show, the price of USDC is $1. You put in 10,000, the value is 10,000, right? Because it's price times the amount is the value. Now, we've got HEX. I'm going to fast forward a couple years. HEX is $500. How does that make you feel? It makes me feel good. Okay, so the price of one HEX is $500. We're going to put 20 in, okay? And it's going to be 10,000. Values have to stay the same, all right? Now, how do we find our constant? Remember what I said, X times Y, the constant K? Well, we've got under the amount, we've got 10,000 times 20, and that's 200,000. So for this little liquidity pool, for the liquidity that we're providing, 200,000 is the constant. All right, let's get into it here. Somebody comes up and somebody says, you know what? I want to buy some more HEX. So HEX is purchased. HEX is purchased in such a way that it causes the price to go up to 550. Now, somebody interacted with this pool. They put USDC in and they pulled out HEX. That caused the price of HEX to rise to $550 instead of $500. Right. So now we get to solve for the amount of HEX. Well, how do we do that? Well, there's a fancy equation, okay? But I'll just tell you right now, the amount that we now have is less because price went up. That means we have less of an amount. It's about 1906. That's the amount of HEX that we have. 19.06 HEX. 19.06 HEX times 550 which is the new price, equals 10,488. Right now, we're just kind of learning how things go up and how things go down and why they do it. But it's pretty simple. It's just basically buy something, take less of it. If you buy something, you take whatever you bought out of the liquidity pool, and it causes the price to go up. And it causes the other pair price to go down. Why? Because the amount goes up, because you put money in to buy the other asset. Okay.
Lost
So,
5%.
10,488. We know there's a couple rules here. Whatever this price is, 10,488, the value of the other one has to be the exact same in the pool. So we know this is 10,488. We know the constant is 200,000. So the question then becomes, we need to solve for this amount, for the amount of USDC now. After the price changes, the quantity of both assets must multiply to equal the same number as before the price change, okay? And after the price changes, the quantity of both assets must multiply to equal the same number as before the price change. So what do we got here? Well, we do some simple algebra. Y, which is what we're trying to solve for, we don't know how much USDC is in there now. The price of the amount of hex decreased because the price went up. But what happened to USDC? Well, we know the amount of USDC had to have increased because hex decreased. So Y times 19.06 hex equals our constant. We solve for Y, and our constant is 10,488, okay? 10,488. Well, how do we know that? Well, if we take a calculator, we know that $1, the price, times 10,488 will equal the value 1048.08, which is the same value as hex. So these are equal now. The amount of USDC went up, the amount of hex went down. The price of hex went up, the price of USDC in this instance, it stayed the same because it's a stable coin. So what's the impermanent loss here? Impermanent loss is the difference between you providing liquidity and you doing nothing at all. That's what impermanent loss is, folks. That's exactly what it is. So your value invested in liquidity pools initially. So when we took that example, our initial value, we invested about 20,976. The total value, if you just held your coins, would have been about $21,000. All right. So after everything, do you hear an echo on here, Briz?
We had,
No.
the value increased of hex by
A little.
10% or 20%, 10%. If you had done nothing, you would have gotten more money. The total value.
Sounds more like a hallway than an echo.
Okay. So this was, this is what we were talking about here earlier. If you just invested a certain amount of money into the liquidity pool, initially invested, it would be 20,976. After that price move, if you had just held your coins instead of investing liquidity, providing liquidity rather, and if you had just held your coins, you would have made $21,000. Now, the important thing here to understand is this does not include the fees or the rewards that you're going to receive. Okay. Sure. So that's very important. So what we did, we just calculated both ways. We provided liquidity. At the end of everything, we had 2976. Or if you just held and didn't provide liquidity, just held these in your wallet, you'd have 21,000. So the impermanent loss is 0.11%. So that's what we were saying there. Value if you just held your coin is 21,000. So the impermanent loss is minus 0.11%. All right. So we're going to go over some more examples. All right. And that's just essentially exactly what it is right there. That's what we're looking at. Nothing crazy. We are just taking the two differences and we are calculating them to figure out what that impermanent loss is. Now, it's going to take people, you got to think about it. You got to look up videos, watch 2 or 3 videos. You got to look at a couple things online to kind of understand. That's why it's so important not to make moves that you don't understand what you're doing. Very, very, very important.
It kind of reminds me of people who do like just basically trading on Uniswap and they don't realize that there's gas fees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very close to like, you got to really be careful about what you're doing.
You do, man. You got to plan it all out. And it's funny. It's funny you should say that because people get chopped up and they're like, yeah, man, like I crushed that trade. It made $100. And then after it's all said and done, they lost $5.
It costs 180 to do the swap.
Happens. Plus all the fees from the exchange, and Bybit's a nightmare, bro. Bybit was a nightmare. I lost a lot of money on Bybit back in the day.
I've never lost $1 on Bybit because I've never been on Bybit.
Oh, I was going to say, did you lose $2? Well, but that's cool, man. Briz.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
That's liquidity providing. It's going to be an option on the Pulse chain, but it might not be something for everybody. So I just want to just because it's there doesn't mean you have to do it. So just everyone be careful where you deploy your money, and yeah.
And another thing is, if you do, this is a good opportunity for you to learn as well. So if you want to just take some side money, a small amount, and just kind of start playing around with things and understanding it, that's okay too. Because this is your opportunity to do it. So just use like a 1% or less of your portfolio if you want to provide liquidity and you don't really know what you're doing, and reach out to some people who might know a little bit better. I will say this: V3. I'm not sure if V3 is actually going to come out or they're just going to go straight to mainnet. I've been waiting for V3 to start making some videos. I will wait as long as possible before I think that mainnet's going to come out. And then I'll make some basic videos for people to be able to understand these things. I understand also that there are many content creators who have created tons of videos on this already.
Yeah.
But I'm focused. I want to make some really high quality videos for you guys to understand moving forward into mainnet.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. There's a lot of really good videos on liquidity providing. You're gonna have to watch them like 5 times each just to grasp the concepts. I also, and everyone else, can go onto the testnet and just do some liquidity providing on the testnet. See how that works out. For me, I found it a little difficult to kind of keep track just because of how volatile all the numbers are and how big all the numbers are on the testnet right now. But yeah, I recommend go on the testnet, try providing liquidity there because it doesn't matter. It's just the testnet, and see how that works out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love it. So thank you very much, Briz, for showing up here. Again, we got the Biz with Briz. We're going to have them Mondays and Fridays, and we're going to tackle some of those tough subjects that you guys might need clarification on. If you do have any questions or you want anything answered, then I can assign Briz some homework here. Just let us know directly.
Yeah, if there's a video you think I should make some points about, let us know in the comments.
Love it. Well, Briz, thanks so much, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back a little bit later. I'm going to be doing an interview with the project. So otherwise, you'll catch me tomorrow, probably before 12 Eastern, and then tomorrow afternoon as well. Thank you so much. And Briz, you got the last word, bro.
Stake long, stake hard.
Stake long and prosper.